I'm okay if this podcast thing, if it only touches 10 people. Like,
That means you checked your heart. You
yes,
checked your,
it's all
yeah.
about your heart posture. Like, I really mean that.
Y'all gotta tune in because it's good. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
If you can't seem to forgive, you fighting with your pride. I gotta stand on this word and I can't compromise. Only a matter of time before.
What up? What up? Man, stop playing. There you go. I don't know what that is, but we gonna just keep it going. But how you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just working out, trying to work on my mental. You know.
Important things.
Yeah, just important things. What's new?
to get like you.
How was school actually? How was school?
School is school. You know, life is life.
Life is life.
Nah, like school. I had a point where I was like, "Ugh, I hate school. Like I really want to drop out. But I told myself, it's power in the tongue. I need to stop saying that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, them grades was looking a little scary, but I started
When you supposed to be done?
But yeah, speaking like life into it, and it hasn't been too bad.
When you supposed to be done?
You know, I was supposed to be done. I had like 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we might have to make that 2 into a 3. But you know, it's still, you know, still doing what it's supposed to do.
I mean, well, that sounds good, man. It sound like you.
Yeah, life
it
is
sound
about
like you,
my time, and that's what's working for me.
You know what I'm saying? Just make sure it's you know, perfect timing and it's bad timing. You want to make sure that
Right,
you
because I'm not trying to be in school for the rest of my life.
for the rest of your life,
know.
exactly, man. But you know, today I thought about this word for you, and no matter of fact, I asked you, and I was like, what do you think touched your heart the most? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you told me that the word that came up was love.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah.
tell me, what does love mean to you?
You know, honestly, when I think about love, I think about like the effortlessness that comes with it. Like
Okay.
I feel like sometimes love can be tough, sometimes love can be hard, but I feel like it's an effortless act.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can love somebody wholeheartedly, and you know, still like all of the other emotions that go along with it. But I can love somebody wholeheartedly, and it's an effortless act. Like an act of true love should move effortlessly. So that's what comes to mind.
Okay,
Think about
so
love.
what would you? So you said it would move effortlessly, but like, what happens when it doesn't? How does
You
that
know,
make you feel?
and that's why I think it's like different stages to love. Like I don't know, like you can love people at different degrees. Like
Yeah.
I think maybe like true love and compassion for somebody maybe should
Like
be effortlessly.
unconditional
But,
love.
yeah, but some are a little harder than others.
Like, why would you say love is hard?
I say love is hard because I feel like there's so many different factors that play a part, you know? Like, and I really feel like it depends on the circumstance or like, you know, the situation.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, yeah, and like the instance, like I feel like with my family, despite anything that happens, if there's any sort of like disagreement, whatever, I'm gonna love them because of just where they're at. I'm gonna
Right.
love you regardless. But when it comes to like instance of like friends or something, like
Yeah.
I can love you from a distance, but I can also like I feel like it's easier to kind of like maneuver out of that space. If I don't know, just for me, like with
Yeah.
friends and stuff, I feel like it's easy to move yourself away and like difference. And like in
Yeah.
the instance of like relationships,
Most definitely. I feel
it's
like
just different.
I feel like that is easy, cause like for me, the way I kind of like distance myself from like the I guess the different levels of love is like, okay, has this person been locked in with me since we was kids,
Yeah.
or has, you know, like, so especially when I don't know you, I feel like it's just water under the bridge, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
far as just with a person like you, your sisters, your grandma, your mom, like I feel like y'all have grown like so close to my heart to the point where I don't know, it's like that unconditional love sets in, because even if, say for instance, one of y'all make me mad or get me irritated, I'm like, well, I can't be irritated with them for too long because
Right.
it's like
You gonna get over it.
yeah, you gonna get over it. It ain't.
Because I
It
be
ain't.
having them little moments where I'm like, I am not talking to them.
Yeah.
And I don't talk to them for like what? The longest I went is maybe the argument started at the middle of the day. I'm back cool with them by the next middle of the next
Mommy,
day.
so look at this. It's and it's so crazy because like
Yeah.
I remember when I first met Destiny, she was mad at your mom for something. She was like, "Oh, she get on my nerves." I said, "That's your mama." Like, and I was like, the way y'all twins, like the way you are, the way I can tell you're not gonna be
we never
mad
stay
at her
mad
for
each
that
other for
long. So it's crazy how the levels of like that can. So okay, so we talk about like the family. How do you feel about love with like a significant other? Because you talked about friends too, but friends are different than a significant other.
Yeah, this is an area where I lack, but like I feel like I'm young,
Yeah.
and I feel like 20s is for dating and like exploring and like figuring out what you like, what you don't like, things of that nature.
Figuring out
And
yourself as well too.
yeah, figuring out myself, like, and I've always been pretty sure of myself. Never like had doubts about who I was or anything
Right.
of that like sense, but. I was just telling my mom earlier, I'm like, the dating pool got chemicals in it or something. Like, I don't know what's going on. But, like, a lot of guys in my generation, and no shade to y'all, but they're just very, very unsure of themselves. And I think it's hard to be in relationship with a girl who is sure of themselves when you are trying to pick up the pieces. And, I mean, I'm not saying that I have it all figured out, but I just have a sense and idea of who I am and, where I'm going to go, who I'm going to become. And I know the things that would qualify, like the things that would matter to me. And I be trying to give people like grace. Like, I know you're not where you want to be right now, but I see the potential in you. And they're like, no, babes, I'm sorry. I know you see it, but I don't see it. So it's just not going to work.
But have your mom or grandma or any aunties or anybody ever tell you not to date potential?
I've heard it before. I don't know if it was from them, but I've heard before, like, don't date off the possibility of who somebody could be.
Okay.
And I try to take that into account, but I'm so optimistic. I'm like, okay, yeah, he trash right now, but he might not be trash, in 2
Later
months.
on,
He might be good if I can get, I can get a good grasp on it and figure out what it is. But no, some men are just trash.
Yeah.
And they like being trash. And
You know that's crazy because the way you talk, it can intimidate guys your age because you got to think about it like they say women develop like me talking to you. I'm 28, you 21. You sound like you about 26. You know what I'm saying? Your mental is there, right? So when you talking to a 21-year-old boy that his hormones are through the roof, he not thinking about the same thing you thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're in two different stratospheres.
Yeah.
And I've come to like understand that and to
Yeah.
learn it and to just kind of like, that's why I said, I'm just learning to date, figure out what I like and what I don't like.
Yeah.
In the last couple of months, I've talked to so many guys that I'm just like, first off, where y'all be coming from, one. Two,
The
I've talked to so
woodworks.
many of y'all, what is up with y'all just coming to waste my time? But I had to understand that nothing is by chance, and I can kind of learn certain things like, okay, even though I only talked to this man for like a month or two, I learned that I absolutely do not like this about that person, and that's not something I want to take into a serious potential for a relationship. So I feel like it has its benefits. It's a little sad because you be going through like, dang, I just thought this one was the one, and then it's like
They say don't put all your eggs in a basket. You feel me? In one basket.
And two, like, I think it's all a test too, because like I'll talk to a guy. God always sends me a dream. Always, always, always. Like, I know if a person's going to be there for a long time or if the person's no good for me because I always get a dream. And, like, sometimes when I don't get no dreams at all, I'm like, this is going to end soon.
Oh, damn.
And it do be ended soon. But, like, I always,
You be self-sabotaging stuff?
No, I just let the chips fall where they may,
Okay.
So people don't like how,
that's good.
Because my approach is very direct.
Yeah.
This is what I want, this is what I don't want. Okay, so we not on one accord.
Yeah.
So let that be that.
So
it's just different.
Okay, so let's dive into like since you talked about like you talking to like guys like as of recently, how has love affected you in a positive and negative way in the past when you did have that one person? Like, what did that look like in the pot? Let's start. Well, okay, let's end with positive so we can start with the negative.
I remember there was one time, obviously, like I said, I'm still young, but when you grow up in a era where like social media is just such a prominent thing and people are constantly like posting relations with this and that, you have that urge to feel like, you know, regardless of however old you are, you have that urge to feel like, no, I want to be able to, you know, have that. And being young, I realized like you said, everybody's learning on the job. It's really like a learning experience. So for me, in a positive way, it's just I give every guy grace. Like that's what I've learned, that like grace is something that's needed, because I'm not no better than nobody else, you know? And I've just like come to terms with just like, okay, I'm gonna give you grace. Now, on the aspect of a negative way, I never forget, I was talking to this boy for a long, long time. Like, I think we dated, didn't date, but I had told my family about him everything. Like, you know, he was a good guy. It was it was some time ago.
You told your dad or your mom?
My mom, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
you know. So I told my mom, but I'm like, you know, everybody knew about him. I
Yeah.
don't think my grandma knew, but my aunt, like,
I wanna
everybody
say
knew
Granny
about
knew?
this man. And I was like, oh, like, you know, whatever. And I never forget, that was the first time I felt like, I've never cried over, I don't cry at all, but I've never cried, especially no man. I ain't never cried over no man. But for him, I literally was like so torn, because I had so much high hopes for him as a person, and for like the things that I was like, you know, he seems like a good guy, he seems like this and that. And it just broke my heart. And I feel like that was the negative thing that happened, but it turned into a good thing, because how I go into relationships moving forward is, I mean, it may not be the best situation for me, but I do go in with a guarded heart, because now I'm just like, I can't give you too much access, because I don't know what you're gonna do. You know, I just have to be myself, and I'm not gonna like bypass things that are occurring or things that I see. No, I'm gonna tell you up front, you can't handle the heat, then you just gotta go.
You gotta get out the
So
kitchen.
it's a positive for me, because it just weeds them out easier. Like,
Yeah.
I told myself I will never, ever, ever allow that to happen, unless it's somebody that I know I can spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been great.
But you see what I'm saying though? You talked about, oh, way back when. You were 21 years old talking
Right.
about way back when. You got an old soul, because I'm
No, I
like,
do.
way back when, ain't nobody, I'm just gonna be honest with you, like, not a lot, I ain't gonna say nobody, but not a lot of people, especially like in South Central, is thinking the way you're thinking. Like the way the last sentence you said, I'm not gonna waste my time unless it's something that I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Like that, that is something that is like, it's like, what the heck? Like, ain't nobody thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? But since you went back into time, how was love growing up? Like what was that like? And I'm not talking about far as like in a relationship, but
Just like
what
as
did
a whole.
what did love look like growing up? So that can be in your household, that can be in a lot of things, but I want to see if you can pinpoint like what did that look like growing up?
Honestly, I would say I've always been like super like family oriented, and my family was always present. So I was like engulfed in so much love. Like I basked in love. Honestly, like it was there. It was very prominent.
Yeah.
It was very real. And I enjoyed it, and I think that it helped me to develop and be who I am today.
Yeah.
Because like I don't feel the need to gain that from anybody else, you know,
that's
because
good.
I've already had that. I've already experienced that. And even at a young age, like them instilling like how important the love of God was, like knowing all of those things at a young age, like I've always had like a very, very big heart. I talked to Destiny about this like here and there, but when my grandfather had passed, my mom's dad had passed like a while ago. Well, I was young. I don't even really remember him too much, but I just remember that because of the love that was surrounding me, and because I loved the people around me so much, and I could take heed to the fact that, you know, people were hurting because of the loss of someone. I would pray every single night, like, God, please bring my grandpa back so that everybody could be happy, like, so that everybody can be like, you know, whole, everybody could be cool again. And I never forget, Destiny was like, girl, he can't bring nobody back that's already dead.
That's what Destiny said. When did she say this? When y'all was kids?
We were kids, but yeah, she was like, girl, like,
she just
basically,
crushed your
like,
dream.
stop praying that prayer. But I was like, you know what? I needed to hear that, though, because I would have probably been praying it still to this day, you know? But it was important. But I think even, like, that sense of, like, me just praying to God about those things, even if it wasn't, like, bringing him back, I think that God did answer my prayer, and he sent a sense of, like, comfort to my family, those who were grieving about it. Because, I feel like, you know, everybody is doing really, really well. And, you know, like, it's not like a topic of where, like, you know, everybody gets super emotional or things of that nature. Like, people can talk about it and be happy, you know, but still acknowledging that, you know, the person's not here.
I had a question, but I'm gonna double back. I want to know, so because you talked about your grandpa on your mom's side, how did losing your grandpa and your grandma on your dad's side affect you? Because I feel like we was on. Okay, no, yeah, I want to know. Let me hold that. I want to know about how did that affect you with your grandma and your grandpa, but then how long did it take to heal, and are you still healing?
You know, it's like topics like this. I feel like sometimes I'm not that in tune with my emotions all the time, because I don't feel like it took me super. Like, obviously, I'm still like still healing and things of that nature, but I feel like grief looks different for everybody.
That's true.
And you know, when my grandma passed, because she passed first, so my grandma passed. I remember, like, I couldn't explain how I felt, but I just knew that I just felt horrible. Like, it just felt so bad. And
Were
I
you
never
on
forget.
that trip? Were you on a trip, or were you
No,
on
no,
a
that
trip
was
with
for my
your
grandpa. When my
Okay.
grandma passed, we had all went to the hospital to go, like, you know, be there for her because, you know, things weren't looking that good. But I never forget, like, when I was sitting there crying, like, just boo-hooing, you know, I'm just going through it. I probably was doing, you know, a lot, but that's the best way I could express my emotions because it wasn't verbally. I couldn't express it through words.
Yeah.
But I never forget, like, my auntie Tanya was, that was her mom. Her mom just passed, but she took the time out to console me. And I never forget that. And I will forever and ever, like, appreciate her and love her for that, because that takes a level of selflessness that a lot of people don't have. Like, for you to have lost your mom, but to still want to comfort your niece in spite of all of that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That takes a level of selflessness that a lot of people don't have. But
That's
I
facts.
took that and I felt like for me, that helped me that, okay, because she was there for me in the hospital room, I felt forever like indebted, like I'm going to continue to be there for them regardless. And that's how I feel like I try to show my love, like just to show that I'm here, I'm there, because it left a permanent imprint on me. And I'm like, this is how I want to move in life, and just to be graceful and just to like, to just be selfless and like put others before myself, because at the end of the day, you never know. Somebody might need it more than you need it in that moment.
That's true.
So, yeah, when that happened, like, it definitely, you know, it's kind of crazy. And then when my grandpa passed, I was on a BSU trip with my school. So it was my first, like, school away trip, like, had a hotel room, everything. Thought I was, like, you know, real, really, for real. So I was like, okay, I'm out here having a good time. I didn't think anything of it. Like, my grandpa was sick. And you know, like they say, like, people die from, like, broken hearts. I really think that was the like, I really think that's what happened. Like,
he missed her.
He was sad, and I knew he was sick before I left, but he had been sick. I didn't think, you know, it was gonna be like anything too crazy. And I never forget, they called me. I was literally, I think we were in like some meeting or something, and they called, and yeah, they told me he died, and I just broke down again. I was like, it just doesn't end. But yeah, I felt really bad, and I was like, it was just crazy. And then prior to both of them dying, my great grandma had died on my mom's side, so it was like it just. But you know, they say like people go in threes sometimes, so I felt like that was like my three, like my great grandma, my grandma. Then yeah, because my grandma would ask questions about my great grandma because they both had cancer.
Oh, for
so
real?
my grandma, mama would like ask
I didn't know
questions.
she asked about her.
She would ask, like, you know, well, how did she, like, ask, like, inquisitive questions, which I personally, at that age, I just thought she was just asking, you know?
Yeah.
But I felt this urge, and I felt like God placed it on my heart before my grandma died to, like, try to learn about my grandma's lineage, like, just to learn more about her. And I was like, you know, we should write a book, like, we should write this down.
That's good.
Or, like, your food and stuff, like, make a recipe. I was trying to get her to do all of those things before she passed, because I thought it was just, like, a bonding thing for us, like, just for us to bond, but I think, like, God knew that, you know, these are things that you'd want to pass down. And your family, like my dad's family, I feel like everybody's kind of like in their own world right now. Everybody's kind of like doing their own thing. Yeah. And, you know, like just to be able to have that piece of like my grandma there. And now I'm like pretty close to her sister. I talk to like my auntie KK like pretty often. So I still like, sometimes she'll say things, I'm like, it brings me a little bit of comfort. Cause I'm like, that's something my grandma would say. Or like she tells me stories. But yeah, it's been a journey.
That's
Still
good.
healing.
after I felt like, you explained pretty well, like, how that looks with lost and stuff like that. So how do you find love within yourself? Like when nobody is around?
Honestly, um, I don't know. It's been a journey, I would say. Like, obviously, I love myself, but to be able to like really seek beneath, like, I think like part of loving yourself is like if
Yeah.
eating healthy. Like, these are all things that play a part. I think it's just like how much do you love yourself?
Yeah.
Like, I love myself enough to know what I'm willing to negotiate on and what I'm not willing to negotiate on. But do I love myself enough to put down the cookies? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna eat the sweets. So I think it's like levels to it, and I'm trying to navigate it, trying to figure out ways to like do that, like loving myself enough to check in with myself. Like, you're sad. Why are you sad? Where's this coming from? Where's this stemming from? What triggered you? Like, finding all of these things. But I think loving yourself is also like opening yourself to help and to assistance and like all of these different things. So
That's true.
now I'll be trying to, like, if I'm feeling like I'm getting a little depressed, which lately has been happening a lot, I try to talk to people. Like,
I was just about to say, do you
talk to
close
people.
off? Like, or did you close off?
I'm not a very like social. Like, I mean, I'm social, but I'm not very open when it comes to like, myself. I like to keep my business my business. I've always
feel you.
been that way. So like, I'll tell what I want to tell. But lately I've been trying to like open up more and let people in, because I feel like that's how God can use other people, if I was to be more. Because if like, say if God placed it on somebody's heart to call me about something, they're like, girl, you good?
Yeah.
And all God wants me to do is just be like, actually, no, I'm not. But I'm over here like, yeah, I'm good. What's going on?
Trying to
Because
figure
I'll
out
change my voice and everything. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm sad and I'm just like sitting there crying, let me put it on a scene for y'all. But like, if you're like crying and stuff, like, I'll be, somebody call, hello, like, I can, I'll be doing.
So what is that like makes you run away from that sad feeling?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up around like a whole bunch of women, and I feel like
y'all
that
have to
strong, like, women has like that strong thing has always been a factor, and like, I don't know. I just feel like I have to like protect myself first, like.
So you talked about the strong women. I know that you was raised like in a 2-parent home. So like, how did love look like on your, like, not on your dad's side, but with your dad? Like, I guess let's say as a kid, not now. Well, we can go to now,
I mean,
but as a kid.
we'll just get into it. Growing up with my parents, I don't remember like. I mean, I'm sure they were. I feel like they just shielded a lot of stuff from us. Like, we kind of really like. In my opinion, I don't know what my siblings' take is, but I felt kind of oblivious to a lot of stuff. Like, they just didn't really share a lot of like parts of them with us, and like especially at a young age. Like, I don't really remember like my parents being like super affectionate and stuff like that.
To each other or to y'all?
To each other or to us either. But like, I bring it up to my mom all the time. Like, you was not being affectionate, and that's why I lack that now. But she's like, no, I was being very affectionate. Like, we were very affectionate, and my grandma was always affectionate, but I just don't remember. I just don't remember it. So maybe they wasn't doing it enough.
She called me yesterday. She called me and said, Darnell, I have not seen you. I said, Granny, I just seen you. No, I have not. And I miss you. I said, oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but like, they've always been there, like, always been very tight-knit, very affectionate, but it just...
your grandma.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I don't know, maybe I needed more. Maybe I needed something that I, didn't like. But I don't think it's them. I feel like parents are learning on the job, too. Everybody's learning on the job. It don't matter how old you are. You're still learning actively. So with my parents, I just don't feel like they were like, they showed us a lot. They were affectionate, but I think like they just didn't do it in front. Like, I don't know. I just don't think they were very open about it in front of us.
Right.
And now as an adult, like, because my dad was like this hardcore man that just like, he just, because he was him, like, I don't know, like, we just weren't, I don't know, like, now as an adult and he tries to be affectionate, like give me hugs and stuff, I'd be like, ew, like, what are you doing? Please. Well, not right now. And I think he takes it as like me being rude, but I'm like, no, it's just something I'm
You're not
unfamiliar
used
with.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. And it shows, it does trickle into like my life now and like when it comes to relationships. Because I don't like being touched. I don't like the little terms of like what are the little baby,
Yeah.
I don't like
That's
it.
crazy.
So I'm trying to work on it,
You know
but
what? You
I
you
don't like
you
it.
pinpointed something because me and Destiny, we had a problem with that. Like she would like grab my arm or do something like that, and I'll be like, like it's just
Yeah.
weird. You feel me?
'Cause
Like
it's unfamiliar.
it's unfamiliar, and I forgot who we was talking to, but I was telling her, I'm like, it ain't you. Like I'm like, Destiny, it ain't you. It's just that like because growing up, I went directly into a foster home, and then after that I moved with my auntie. My auntie, they was loving, like my pawpaw was like a dad. My auntie was like mom, but like I don't feel like I like ain't nobody. Look, my auntie coddled me when I was a kid. They would all call me spoiled, but I never felt that type of like oh like so when I moved with my mom, when I moved back when she got clean and sober, it was like none, like zero. So it was
Yeah.
just like because at the time we was living in a 1 bedroom. She was sleeping in the living room, and then she gave me the room, and then we flipped. And but it was just like we was just okay. You in the room, you in the room. She in the living room. It's like, and then anytime she come
Yeah.
in the room, I go out the room to go in the living room. And
Yeah.
then it was just I
Got
just
to
never.
relearn each other.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because the only time I used to visit her, I visited her in jail before. That wasn't no,
Yeah.
skin to skin contact. So it was just one of those things where I'm just so unfamiliar with that. So I can see where you coming from when you say like you didn't really get that from your dad. So it's just like it kind of bleeds into your relationships.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
But
kind of
I
bad.
think
Yeah.
it all has to do with like he just was doing all that he could do, like,
Yeah.
and that's all that he was. And I know like for guys, it's harder for like I don't know like for parents to be like affectionate. I see like now people are starting to change
Trying
that
to
a lot
change
with
it,
like
yeah.
their sons, but I think it is a little bit harder for like parents to show affection to their sons. So they grow up and they lack that,
Yeah.
And I think he just was doing the best that he thought he could because he's a man who grew up with two sisters who
Yeah.
were older than him, and he had two brothers. So it's like it's all, and he's the youngest. So that plays a
Oh,
part too. He's the youngest out of all of his
right.
siblings,
And then he
and then
had
he
three
has
girls.
three girls, and he has a son. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to navigate. He really was learning on the job for real, for real.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And because my mom like comes from a tight knit family, like I don't think it was like as much of a hurdle for her to get through. But for him, I think it like was like one of those things. But I don't think honestly, truthfully, like anybody on my dad's like fam, I don't think any of them are affectionate like that. Like yeah, we give hugs and stuff, like little cute little
Yeah.
side hugs.
That's where
but
you
like
get it from.
yeah, that's for sure. Get it from them, but
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are like super affectionate. I probably maybe my dad's was I guess the youngest sister, like
Yeah.
my auntie Mickey, maybe her, but no, they
Dang.
all be lacking it. So it has to have been something that was trickling down, and
Yeah.
he just was doing the best he could. But his best is why I'll be struggling now. So
Not
but
his
I'm working
best
through
is
it,
why I'm
actively
struggling.
working through it. He's working
Yeah.
on him. I'm working on me.
That's good.
So,
That's good. So I think you talked about this because you talked about like the pull of dating right now is bad. Do you think going back to that? Do you think that love exists in Gen Z?
It's so funny. I was literally just talking to my friend before I got here, and I was saying like the way that it's going, God must have. I'm supposed to be a part of the royal family, Now the way it's going is that the guy who's for me is just gonna be so undeniably like, wow, how am I in a fairy tale? I'm about to be in a Disney movie. That's what how I
Yeah.
think about it. But I feel like there's so many other people in my generation who feel very similar because
Yeah.
like it is like most of the guys, like I'm gonna just keep it real in a book. Like a lot of I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, but everybody's just looking for a good time. Nobody's looking for a good like a good thing. They're looking for a
Yeah.
good time, not a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like we can't keep living our lives just wanting to like, oh, I just want to have sex with this person and have sex with that person
Yeah.
and let it be. That's not gonna cut it. Everybody's not cut
Yeah.
from the same cloth, and we're not gonna do the same things.
Yeah.
Like it literally does infuriate me sometimes when I'm talking to a guy, and then I can just like, as they're talking to me, it's very clear
what they want.
that all you want is to get in my pants, babes.
Yeah.
I'm not the one. So
Yeah.
I have to constantly have to cut people off and have to keep starting over. But it's like, that's why I like to cut it at the gate.
Yeah.
What are your intentions? I haven't been as strong on them lately
Yeah.
as I used to be, but I'm gonna have to start back. Like, listen, this
Yeah.
is what I'm doing, this is what I'm not doing,
Yeah.
and if it don't, okay, because a lot of times they don't respond after that. Okay, that's cool. You
Or
do you.
that's cute, but I'll be in y'all bushes. Cause she can tell y'all, she could be doing all that, but if y'all try anything farther, I'll be in y'all bushes. And y'all
Because
don't want me in y'all
my
bushes.
block button has been working effortlessly lately. It's been doing the job. I've been blocking people left and right because I just I feel like every guy is a test, and I'm trying to pass so I can get to my king, because it's giving I'm about to be in the UK or it's giving Europe.
Okay, I got another question. How did and not too much about us, but like, how did your sister motivate you after she got married? Well, after we got married, like how did like did that give you hope in a sense?
Yeah, I feel like our relationship will give me hope. It's just like,
Well, cause she closer to your age and
yeah, it does. I feel like for my friends and stuff, you guys inspire them a lot. But maybe it's because I'm like so close.
Oh, damn.
Like I just be like, oh, like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know me.
Yeah.
It's just I don't guess I have never like really put too much thought into it, honestly. But I do see how you guys are, like the people that I bring around, how much you guys' relationship has made an impact. And I definitely take heed to that. Like, okay, like finding a good guy and a well-rounded guy and a guy who loves the Lord.
Yeah.
It's hard to come by. So she definitely she did a big one. She did.
Yeah.
She did a big one. And I commend her, and I commend you too for being committed. Like it's really a task, especially now with so much going on. It's so much stuff happening. Like it's hard, I feel like, to date and to find somebody, but to also like want to finish that thing out.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just hard. Like people, like I said, a lot of the guys now are just they don't know themselves, so they can't get to know you.
Yeah,
so it's just like
that right there.
It's hard. It's so hard.
That's it right there. I think just leading up to me and her, it was just that me trying to figure out myself, you know what I'm saying? Like coming from the streets and not knowing, like how you said, who I was. Like I didn't even know, like I seen marriage, like I said, my papa and my auntie, but I was too young to actually know what that really truly was. Like I wasn't looking at them like, oh, I want to be like that. It wasn't that. It was just like, okay, now can I go outside and play? You know what I'm saying? But as I grew up, my mom is not married, nothing like that. But I just never seen it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it as a young adult, and trying to like maneuver. I don't know. I felt like I was over here, being one of those dudes that you were describing, and
don't be those dudes, guys.
and after I got myself right, I think that's when the opportunity presented itself to her. I mean, for me to meet her. So just like how you said, I think the key is once those dudes start understanding who they are, then they'll see the gym that you are. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they won't know, because they won't know that they got a gym inside of them too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing, is just knowing themselves.
And like even bringing up like the guy that I was talking about who had me crying, like that's true, they will. Because one thing, what I've learned about every guy that I've talked to, they always come back. And they don't know how to like stay where, if you mad, stay there. They don't know how to do that. They like to come back. And with the guy who had me crying, he did come back later on and like, I apologized for this, that, and the third. And I feel like a sense of me was like healed from that. Like I appreciate it, like people taking acknowledgement, because it's so hard when you're dating all these people and you're talking to all these people, and you start to feel like a sense of like inadequacy within yourself. Like, what am I doing?
Is
am
it
I
me?
not? What is it? And like I said, I was talking to my friend earlier, like when it comes to relationships, God shielded me for a very, very long time.
Good,
like I didn't have like I have friends who have like horrible relationship stories, horrible breakup stories. that wasn't my situation. Like,
Yeah.
God shielded me for a very, very long time. And then now, that's why I say, like, I feel like everybody's a test, because now it's like, here y'all come. It's
Out the
like they done
woodworks.
opened up the gates,
Yeah.
and they just don't know how to act. And that's
Yeah.
not even like trying to be cocky or anything, but it's like it is a lot, and it's a lot for me to maintain,
Yeah.
and like having to feel, and because I'm optimistic, I'll be thinking like, maybe this guy could be it. God, I know you
Yeah.
sent me a dream and you said don't do it, but
Yeah.
he seems like a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, girl, didn't I just tell you? You know, so it's just like, it gets hard sometimes trying to navigate that, and
Yeah.
trying to like figure out like what I could do. But I've just started to realize, like, I'm not changing who I am for no man. You either want me for who I am, and or that's it. Like, there's really no negotiables about
Yeah.
it. So
But then also, you know that you're also forming too. Like, I feel like in the state of forming, you will see people that want to latch onto you as you're doing your self work. You get what I'm saying? Because you know you glow different, you look different. Everybody see that, and sometimes we don't see ourselves as like how other people see us. So in that forming state, that's you probably are getting more hit ups, more DMs, more what you know what I'm saying? But it's all within your self development, and like how you said, I think whoever is the person that's gonna meet you or whatever, they gonna have to really be on their P's and Q's, because they not gonna be able to get past the first little situation.
And that's why when you like showed me the words, I picked love, because I knew it was going to challenge me.
Yeah.
And it would kind of like pull things out of me. And I think that it's really like refreshing to be able to talk about these things, and to like bring those conversations to the table, because as a person who, honestly, truthfully, I mean, like I said, I've talked to a lot of people, but I wouldn't say I've really been in a real relationship for real. Like,
Right.
knowing that and just being sure of myself, like, I think it's a lot of other people who probably feel very, very similar. Like, what is it? What am I doing? What am I lacking? What am I? But it's like, no. The question is, why are they lacking so much? You know, why are they need to get it together? It's not you, it's them. So,
You burnt that.
but that's
one.
how I'll be thinking. Like,
Yeah.
and then I also think too, like, because I've always been so like head driven and like very, very like focused. Like, I don't know if you can like attest to this, but I've always been very, very sure. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And like, sometimes when God is trying to pull you to different heights and different like levels, like you said, it's really, you can't have everybody can't be attached to you.
not
And
everybody.
it's important that like, you know that about yourself, and
Right.
you know that like the dating pool that I'm in now will not be the dating pool I'm in the next couple of months.
That's
You know,
facts.
so
Yeah.
I'm just realizing now that like the guys who I'm talking to, it's practice. Because when the real test comes on, I have to have armor. I have to be able to prepare myself,
Right.
brace myself for it. And I can take all of those different things and those characteristics and those facts that
That's
I
a
got.
good way to look at it,
dating.
because not a lot of people looking at it as practice. I remember when I first, I probably learned that when I was in high school. Somebody told me that his name was Lot. He was like a mentor-ish, but he was whatever. He used to say that. He was just like, this is practice. He was like, and I used to look at him like, what you mean this is practice? He's like, man, this is practice. All of this is practice. He was like, during lunch, go talk to all of the girls, not like just like whatever, but he was just like talk to them so then you can know how to talk. And I was just like, oh, but like the more and more we did it, like it was like 5 of us, and we would just go out and just like say stuff, but not like disrespectful stuff, but we would just talk, like have conversation. And it helped us communicate. It helped us like learn stuff. And it was truly practice. Because if you don't, if you just sitting in the back not saying nothing, you ain't gonna know how to approach a girl. Like most girls want to be sought after. They want somebody to go and, talk to them and stuff like that. And also a dude that can have the courage enough to go and talk to them. So that taught me to like, how guys, they don't like
rejection.
the rejection.
Oh,
boom.
100. Oh, they hate that.
So that helped me
They
with
hate
that.
the rejection.
You know what I'm saying? That helped me a
They
lot with
hate
that.
rejection.
That helped me a lot with that.
OMG.
You know what
Like-
I'm saying? So, but think about it. Everybody's behind their phones. Everybody's behind the screen. Ain't nobody, when they see you, they might, oh, I follow her. They might see you literally walk right past them and be like, oh, I'm going to hit her up on Instagram. And it's like, brody, that ain't like, bro, go talk to her. You know what I'm saying? So
they love hiding behind them screens.
you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's really, and honestly, truthfully, I'm about to start praying real, real heavily for like Gen Z, because and I like it's just so many different
Yeah.
different factors, so many different things. Like I don't know if that's gonna sound rude. I'm not gonna say that. But it's just really a lot of things that we have to work on as a collective. Like everybody's so lost. It's the blind leading the blind. Especially in the dating is just one of the many things that we are lacking.
Yeah.
And it's just hard sometimes. Like
Yeah.
everybody is willing to conform, and it's just sick. It's really like I really think it should be studied.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's going on for real, and it's just sad. So when it comes to dating, like, yeah, I'm always upfront. Like I'm very, very like, this is what's going on, you know, and I'm not telling you to be mean. I just want you to know that there's other people out here. You know, I can't put all my eggs in one basket. So yeah, it's just all of those things. But I really do. Yeah, I just hope they get it together for real.
Look,
because it's sad.
Well, with that, that's gonna be the conclusion of the love episode.
Wow.
I appreciate you. I feel like you came through and you dropped a lot of gems, you know what I'm saying? Especially on your age group, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they don't know, y'all know now that y'all dealing with a very wise, friends and people that like her, that want to talk to her, y'all dealing with a very wise individual that's not about to go for none of that. And then she got people that's not going to allow that to happen either. So just be mindful. But that's a wrap. I appreciate y'all, and stay tuned for another episode.
Bye.
Faith without work is dead. We know that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
you physically have to do things for faith to activate.
You people pleasing and giving peace to the wrong step. Come boss up, yeah.
If you don't learn to forgive, it's gonna make you even more bitter, and it's gonna put you in a more dark space, because it's not about them, it's about you.
Through our lens, how I see it, baby. We took our time to build this situation.
You need people to remind you, like sometimes when God has shown up, because fear will distort your way of thinking.
All right, bro, so tell me, what is through our lens?
Through our lens is past photography. It's past anything that has to do with a cameraman. It's actually how we live life, bro. How everybody has a perspective.